All right, through the miracle of science, here we are, Las Vegas. Michael Loftus at the MGM after just coming off the show. Judd Dunning here at our studios. Intro the show, Michael Loftus.
This is our insane 2019 year in review. We are going to fly through the 10 biggest stories of last year. Judd, do we have an intro graphics package we could roll right about now?
We will roll that graphics package as we go into episode 50, and we'll be right back with our Big 10 Bullet Points 2019.
Okay, let's get in. This is going to go so fast, Judd. It's 1 minute per subject.
1 minute. Okay.
1 minute per subject. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's hit it.
Let's do it. So here we are at Bullet Points. The number one big news of the year, of course. Let's start with the Muller Probe. Michael Loftus, start the clock, Producer Jones.
To me, this was the biggest story because there was nothing there. It was all lies and innuendo, and the media had us going that, once we find out what's in the Muller probe, Russia will be a secret agent. Nothing there. And did we get any apologies when we found out none of this stuff was true? No. Sleaze, slander, Muller probe BS.
Yes, worst part. What I love to hate was Robert De Niro on SNL. What I actually hate is the fact that when everybody goes to the Ukraine, they're like the bad Russian brother. Like anything to do with Ukraine, they're really not allies. They're like that guy you shouldn't hang out with. You know, there's a lot of problems. Manafort, everybody who got really involved with him had a bad time, and Trump got his hands dirty. But that's over, Jack.
Yeah, there is no there. I think we're moving on to number two. Our number two story.
Set records. All right. There we go. May brevity and lucidity be the benchmark of our success on this episode, Michael Loftus, as we go to the number two big story of 2019. And right now, the impeachment of Donald J. Trump, which just passed in the Senate. Off to you in Vegas.
Here's my problem with the impeachment. There's no actual crime. They're saying abuse of power. You have to be more specific. Is it bribery? Is it quid pro quo? Is it extortion? If he was really abusing his power, it would all funnel down to one crime you could put your finger on. There's no crime. Impeachment's going to fail. They're just trying to slander the president for another 10 months so they can hopefully win 2020.
What I loved about it, impeachment, was when yesterday Nancy Pelosi, they said in her white dress, extolling virtue, integrity, and democracy, presented the articles. I mean, it was complete. And everyone's like, wait a minute, this is not Nancy Pelosi at all, as crazy Nancy said. And, I think the best thing that's going to happen to this is the fact that Trump's polls just went up over 50%, which is an indicator that we're going to get another great run at the country. So let him burn down the ranch.
The American people are hip to the trick. They're just slander, even though there's no crime. If it was really like, oh my gosh, all hands on deck, we got to do something, we wouldn't have been waiting through Christmas break. You don't go, this guy's a criminal, he needs to be stopped. Okay, let's move on to number three. I love the rock and roll.
This is it. We might have to do this all year long. All right, number three of the big stories of 2019 on Bullet Points are climate change and the Green New Deal. Now, we could go on and on about this one, but fortunately, what's in flames is the climate change proponents that have been destroying democracy this year. We pulled out of Paris. We've had so many states. I think Greta Thunberg's is. I don't understand the phenomenon, but I love kids, so that's I love children. The planet seems fine. Michael Loftus.
Climate change, it's just another power grab. They keep changing the name of it. It was global warming, and then it's blah, blah, blah. There is no there. And even if there was, like, you got to talk to China, you got to talk to India. Those are the guys who are doing most of the polluting. America, our levels are good. We're doing fine. We're not the big polluters. China and India. So don't bitch at me. Don't raise my gas prices. Talk to the neighbors across the sea.
we can fix that problem after Christmas. I mean, that's basically the Republicans. It's like, it's not that bad right now. We're trying to pull back the debt. We'll fix it later. But we acknowledge it, and that's moving on. This
Yes.
1 minute. All right, here we go for all the late nighters just catching up on Bullet Points episode 50. Another recent and great news. A lot of the news came at the end of the year. Number 4, Boris and the Brexit. Michael Loftus.
I was so happy for my English brothers and sisters. They voted on this thing 3 years ago. 3 years ago, they wanted out. They want self-rule. They're going to be fine. And hopefully, Boris can get it done. The right, the conservatives won big in England. I think the English people have finally had enough. You can tell me it's raining. But no, that's just some British person peeing on you.
So I flew back from Canada and sat by a British millennial on his way back. Interesting what he said. He said, hey, they were offering no alternative vision. I'm like, God, does that sound familiar? It was exactly the parallel of the Brexit breakout and Trump taking it. Now, socialism has no real alternative. He said there's nothing that exists really for the working class. Boris is the best. I mean, isn't that the parallel to what's going on here? I love how we're lockstep with Britain. You know, at the same time, they're multiculturalists. Like, we love immigrants here, just legally through the border. He said the exact same thing. He said, we're multiculturalists. We just want legal immigrants.
Yes.
Producer's waving me on. I like it. All right. Okay. All right. Moving on. The great Boris. All right. Number 5, 2019 Bullet Points top stories. Michael Loftus, Hong Kong and the Trump. Let it go.
I'm glad that the Trump administration stood up for Hong Kong, even with some tweets and some strongly worded language. Ultimately, this is the situation that I think is the most dire. I don't think China can let go of Hong Kong. I don't know what the people of Hong Kong are going to do. This one is not going to end well. I'm very pessimistic about this. If there's ever a time to pack up and get out of Hong Kong, I think now is the time.
Yeah. I think the biggest move was when they said you could extradite foreign nationals out of Hong Kong. They basically violated all of the rulings of 1997 forward at that point, and it's just been getting worse and worse. And they're so close and so proximate. I mean, one of the greatest reasons we're safe is because how isolated we are. Hong Kong is just not safe. So we're going to have bigger battles to fight. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to take them on there. We're making a stand with Russia. We just bombed somebody. We just killed Solomon in Iraq for Iran's attack on us. I mean, that was we'll see what tomorrow's news will bring. I think Hong Kong, I agree. It's time to keep moving and keep supporting.
Yeah. All right. What's the next big subject?
Okay, moving on to our next top 10 bullet point of 2019. Number 6, immigration, Trump, the wall, Michael Loftus.
This again is a huge one. The demographics of America are changing. That's cool. We're always in flux. There's a line of illegal people that come in, they immigrate, they become citizens. We love them. There's like 1 million of them a year. But when you have an unchecked flood of immigrants who are now illegal immigrants can get driver's license in New York. They can vote for the school board in San Francisco. That ain't good. If you got 22 million illegals that you're going to push into the system, that's the end of democracy. Thank goodness Trump is doing something about it. We need that wall. The future of our beautiful republic depends on it.
I agree. Woo-hoo. You know, I think Chad Wolf coming in was a great point. I think the fact that arrests are going down has been a big deal. And the bottom line is the wall is working. But the real thing that Trump did this year, which I think is amazing, was how he called drug terrorists who are bringing fentanyl in the United States, stopping them at the border. I mean, if you live in Los Angeles, you know how bad the drug problem is. If we can do anything to protect a few citizens, so let's put up a legal wall. I think it's going great. And I think Americans know it's going great as well. They backed up. You're not even hearing about this in the news the way we used to, because the Democrats have moved on to impeachment. Right?
Yep.
It's just the next news point. All right, moving on. And our power 15 minutes to one of your favorites, Michael Loftus, which is number 6, which is the rise of socialism in America. And not just millennials, the squad, the whole big picture. Lay it down.
This is an idea. There was a new poll out today that millennials even view socialism higher now than they did last year. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's a failure of our school system. It's a failure of entertainers. It's a failure of historians. These people don't know socialism leads to communism, and it never goes anywhere good. You can try it again and again and again. It always fails, and people die. You don't want to go down this road. And I think a lot of millennials are thinking, oh, we want to be like Sweden. We want to be like Sweden. Well, Sweden had to do a 180 back in the 1980s because they ran out of money. They had to privatize their Social Security. They're more capitalistic than they've ever been. So You don't want to be like Sweden. You want to be like America.
Yeah, and I think what we've really come to is the millennials are in a crisis as well. I mean, they're going to be a huge voting body where they're saying we are the 99%. There's certain habits that are generationally being passed on where millennials aren't getting some of the big wealth lessons. We've covered this on the show. So because they've got to develop new habits, suddenly they're leaning towards socialism, but they're divorced from history. So, I mean, the best thing that I think Trump brought in this last year was national pride. I mean, it's kind of the antidote, national pride. So we'll see what happens. It's a real character walk if they get back, but we all know how it ends. All right. I think my producer told me that I'm off on the numbers. Are you sure? Really? I think I'm doing all right. Okay. Number 7, the great Hunter Biden, which today in the news we're seeing people recuse themselves from a fraternity suit. There's been cocaine on planes, getting kicked out of the Navy, being part of a $156 million scam. Now you look at you've got Nancy Pelosi's son might be involved. It's getting deeper and deeper. Trump came on Hannity and said, "Hey, we're going to have to investigate all this fraud." He goes, "It's not up to me. It's just crime." So I think this is going to unwind pretty hard, Michael.
Hopefully it keeps unwinding. This is the swamp. Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are the poster children for the swamp. I'm the vice president. I'm in charge of Ukraine. Here's some money, kid. Like, come on. No one in their right mind thinks that Hunter Biden, crackhead, should be running an oil company in the Ukraine. And listen, they're all in on it. It's going to be Democrats going down. It's going to be Republicans going down, sadly. But this gravy train has got to end because it's not about national security. It's about politicians getting rich and pretending it's about national security. Drain the swamp.
Well said. I agree. Drain the swamp. You know, it's kind of like say the complexity of Ukraine is like the complexity of Saudi Arabia. Like we're connected, they're essential in the region, but there's heavy stuff going on. I mean, most of the bombers came from 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia, right? Most of our problems are coming from the Ukraine. At what point are we going to actually reevaluate our relationship to the Ukraine? I mean, we need to clean up. Maybe we should clean up the Ukraine.
Quick impression. I'm Hunter Biden. Look at me. Coke.
It's a real thing. It's not the real thing. Oh, you are in Vegas. Who knows? All right. So here we go. Moving on to number 8. One of your favorite topics, the lack of Melania Trump. Now, and somebody who has been doing she's really starting to get her voice as a first lady. She just chimed in about the whistleblower. You can see she's actually turning the corner. She just recently since our last show. So tell us your thoughts on Melania Trump, Michael Loftus.
The lady who runs Vogue magazine, whatever her name is, that highfalutin, she just did a podcast and she didn't even recognize Melania Trump as the first lady. She wouldn't even discuss her as if she was the first lady. That was the final straw for me. Like, listen, Michelle Obama was on Vogue multiple times. Hillary Clinton was on the cover of Vogue. Every first lady's on the cover of Vogue. And they've got Melania Trump, 6 languages, 5 fluently, immigrated to the country, self-made woman. I think she studied engineering in Slovenia. Good Lord, she's doing a great job. And she's got she reads to the sick kids and she goes to hospitals and she's got her anti-bullying campaign. I've never seen bitches more jealous of a first lady than Melania. It's criminal.
Then I'll just end it with a quick tag, and she's hot. So she is extremely hot.
Smoking hot. I love it when they show the pictures of her. She's like, she's on the airplane and she's wearing that metal bikini, and they're like, "Are you proud of these photos?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those are smoking hot photos."
Yes. What's wrong with that? I mean, it's a lot easier to look at.
I'm not ashamed of the human body.
First lady. And you know what's interesting about her too is, she's not originally from America. I mean, we should be celebrating her diversity.
Yes.
All right, moving on to our next story, number 9, big story this year that we both know so well: media bias against conservatives, liberal bias in the overall mainstream media, social media being fraught with algorithms and isolating free speech this year has really been on the rampant page. Sacha Baron Cohen just came out. We covered in the show. The whistleblower at Google came out. I do not know where this is going to end. Your thoughts, Michael?
I don't see where it's going to end either. I really don't. New media is going to kick up. Shows like this one that we're doing, stuff that I'm doing over at the loftusparty.com. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody, start your own websites. They can kick you off Facebook. They can kick you off Twitter. They can kick you off all these social media platforms. Get your own website and start doing stuff like this. Look, the media had us running in circles for the whole Russia thing for years. There was nothing there. And now they're doing it with impeachment. And it's like, it's undeniable that the mainstream media is just working hand in hand with the Democrats. And that's not about facts. That's about feelings, and it's about wanting people to behave in a certain way. I don't like being led around by the nose.
And yet, Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen on CNN at midnight could talk about Gloria Vanderbilt, wondering who's got the biggest cock in Hollywood, and suffer no ramifications, right? Could you imagine if that came from the right? I mean, that was
There was a guy, and I follow him on Twitter. He was on CNN, and he said he trusted boobs more than he trusted the media. He got banned for life. Banned for life.
Right. It's really, it's the depth of overcompensating diversity and biases. I think what's going to happen, we're just going to have to keep watching more bullet points, America. That's the solution. All right. Episode 50. Moving on to number 10. We just talked about media bias, and we are moving on to essentially our wild card is, and I was so disappointed. Number 10, the Star Wars ending. I was so disappointed with the last Star Wars that I was on the fence about going, but then this wave of nostalgia, I was like, this is the last Star Wars. And I went, Michael, you can begin.
Well, this is, as a film, I have criticisms and all that other stuff, but this goes into politics as well. They decided to take the most beloved franchise, the highest earning franchise of all times, and they politicized it. They injected politics into The Last Jedi, and it's crazy. Democrats only know how to destroy. A conservative, an artist will make something, and then as soon as they could, they try to change Star Wars into a political lever to make people change their minds and see the world differently. And boy, they almost killed the franchise. Thank goodness for shows like The Mandalorian on Disney, where they're actually doing good stuff. But man, this last Star Wars trilogy was just a recipe for how to kill a franchise.
I just have to say, I thought at least the Han Solo one got back to a little little sexist body hero white guy. I'm like, can I say, it's like I even worry about talking like that. But it was just the same character when he was younger, and it worked. It was they had a little redemption period. They went into that hyper diversification. But in the last one, I have to say, I liked it. There were certain things I liked about it. I liked how they tried to bring the male and the feminine of the Force together, and they were using the symbol of passage through the icon. And by the end, they wrapped everything up, and I went home happy. But I'm a sucker for sci-fi, man. I'll see anything.
Oh, I'm a sucker for sci-fi too, but it has to be good. Emperor Palpatine's coming back.
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a whole separate show on Star Wars.
We'll have to do a whole separate show on it. Yeah, we could destroy it later. All right, so there we are. We want to do a quick show. Michael, I've been gone for a couple of weeks. End of the year, episode 50. You're at the MGM. You're doing comedy. I mean, we're going to put this up tonight, tomorrow. Are you still going to be there?
I will be here through Sunday, baby.
Sunday, okay.
And everybody can track me down at theloftusparty.com. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to get the podcast, the videos, all of the above.
You did the 5 a couple times over the holidays. When are we going to see you next?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll go back to New York. They'll call. I'll fill in. I did the 5 so many times. I'm calling it the 10.
So do you get a sweater eventually when you like SNL? You get a 5th time on the 5, 25.
I want a coffee mug. Hey, when can I buy your book?
My book. So we have tis the season to get your book out there. We're gonna go to CPAC this year with you, Michael Loftus.
Yeah.
And we've got we're gonna put out like 300 submissions this month in January, and then we'll think about it. We do have a self-publisher who's conservative, Liberty Hill, that's really interested in it, and they connect to Regenry, which is it's one of the top people. But we're gonna go out to all the traditional conservatives, and like anything in America, you just got to work hard and put your head to the grindstone. So we'll see.
There you go. That's a great way to wrap it up. Keep your shoulder to the wheel. Work hard.
Okay. All right. We'll see you every week in the midweek with Bullet Points, Red, Blue, and Magenta Nation, Loftus Party, Bullet Points Nation. And we'll see you on the weekends with Single Shot. God bless you. God bless America. And happy new decade.
Yeah, 2020.